they're talking about, well, do you know if it's a girl or a boy? And like, do you want to know? And she's like, no, you know what? I think like I just want to be surprised. And I'm thinking like, well, that's a horrible idea because you could be, planning right now, getting ahead of things. But I didn't say that out loud. I didn't say that. I'm just thinking it. And then my contribution was this. I said, well, with test tube babies, you can like pick out their eye color and like their height and whether they're like gonna be good at sports and stuff. It's really cool. That's what I said. And the problem is the lady goes, that's inappropriate. I was like, okay, that's awesome. She's like, no, not that. Like, no, it's not appropriate to call them test tube babies. They are babies conceived with in vitro fertilization. I was like, well, that doesn't roll off the tongue. That's a horrible name to call somebody. I feel like even people who do in vitro fertilization don't call it that. Like, I don't know, the test tube thing, mash the fucking sperm together. The test tube thing. In vitro fertilization. What a fancy name for a simple thing. And the thing is, this is my problem, it's not offensive. The test tube baby. It's not like there's millions of test tube babies marching on Washington being like, you can't call us that. If I knew it, I would tell a test tube baby to its face right now. To its face, that it's a test tube, that it's a mutant face that's saying, you are a test tube baby. I would. Bring me one. But that's what I'm saying, is that she just decided that this was offensive. This is the culture that we live in, where it's like, well, like the word midget. Okay. When does the word midget become offensive? Who does, did midgets decide that? Because that's not how things work. Like, there's words that you can't say, right? Like the N-word, you can't say that because there's a historical context behind it, right? Hundreds of years of like slavery and horrible stuff. You just can't go around like flippantly saying that word. But like midget? What's the anthropology of that word? It's not like there were hundreds of years of midget slavery, although I wish that there were, because that'd be hilarious. But no, really though, seriously, midgets are the opposite of what you want in a good slave. They're not tall, they're not strong, they don't do well in the heat. It's ludicrous to think of enslaving midgets. It's absurd. It's laughable even. Which brings me to my thing of like the word retard, right? Who said that retard is offensive? Not retarded people. I can tell you that right now. There's no retarded people that are like, I find that offensive. They didn't say that. Somebody went and explained to them, like, hey, if anybody says this to you, you have to get offended. So whoever did that, they hurt their feelings, not me by saying the word. So, I also handicap people with terrible slaves. If slavery is the context to have an offensive word, then they don't meet the criteria. You notice that there's not that many gas stations here in Florida? This is my transition from the retard joke. No, but seriously, in Florida, I feel like there's not enough gas stations. Like, I'll drive from my house to work, to the gym, back to my house, to the state. There's not a single gas station en route. And I am from the state/town of Delaware. I don't know if you've ever heard of Delaware. And in this state/town, in my backyard, which was Hockessin, Delaware, I'm sure you're all familiar, good old Hockessin. In Hockessin, Delaware, there's 2 Texacos across the street from each other. Across the street from each other. Also a Shell and a BP. All in the same square block. They're all right there. On Kirkwood Highway, there's a BP gas station across the street from, you guessed it, another BP gas station. These are 2 identical business models on opposite sides of the street from one another. The only distinction is whether you'd rather hear the Bluetooth ramblings of Samir or Singh. Those are the only
That's how you can make your decision. If you prefer kind of the muses of Samir, you can make that U-turn, but you don't have to. You don't have to. I've been watching, I'm kind of screwed up right now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I have been watching the show Billions, and I gotta tell you, it is, have you seen it? Have you seen the show Billions? It is ruining my life. It's ruining my life. These people are so wealthy. So wealthy, and I'm not even close. I just want to know, like, what happened? What happened between me working at Bloomingdale's and me, like, trading on Wall Street and making millions upon millions of dollars? And I'm gonna tell you what it was, is that I blew it. You know what I'm saying? I could have taken that route to just be wealthy and successful had I just, like, gone to college and, like, gotten a good job. But no, I had to get addicted to prescription pills, right? Same old story. Because you know what I think it was? Is that I grew up in a very, like, overprivileged home. You know what I'm saying? And I think that you lose your edge to a degree. When you're very overprivileged, you have nothing to kind of work for. Like, there's people with real problems. They're like, you know what? My shoes are wearing through and I walk to school every day. Like, I need money for new shoes. Or like, you know, Mom, I need money for textbooks. All the kids are getting ahead of me because I have old textbooks. I come home from high school like, Mom, you bought single stuffed Oreos. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's why they make double stuff. There's double the stuff. Go to college. Going up to my room to smoke weed. And like, so I could have just left school and gone on to college and then had this thing, but instead I work at Bloomingdale's. That's what I do. I work at the men's denim at Bloomingdale's. And I gotta tell you that even if you go to college, you better go to like Ivy League. You better go to some good, like Carnegie Mellon. I don't know if that's Ivy League, but that's a good school. Carnegie Mellon, it is? Did you go to Carnegie Mellon? You're an idiot. You should have gone to Carnegie Mellon. I'm just kidding. Like, if you, or what's the other one? Cornell, Yale. Like, any of these schools, you're going to do really well. You go to FSU, don't. Okay? You're going to go to BYU, don't do that either. Because you're going to work for me. That's the answer. I didn't get working for me. He had 2 bachelor's degrees. He had 2 bachelor's degrees. I dropped out of DeSales University. He'd be like, yeah, but I took up a degree in microphysics. I'm like, shut up and fold shirts, idiot. He was stupid. So, oh yeah, no, how long can I just stare at the floor? I was thinking recently that it'd be great, like everybody when they have kids, they want to have a boy, right? Everybody wants to have, well, men anyway, I'm not saying women, but like most guys, whether they're not, like they want to have a boy. So anytime I see like a guy who's got like 7 daughters, I feel like it was like he was like playing roulette and like couldn't walk away from the tables. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, I gotta hit black sometime. Double down, fuck red. Double down, fuck red. Double zero, shit. Oh, fuck, you just gotta cut your losses sometimes. Hope none of them go to college. That's sometimes what you have to do. And I was thinking that if I was a father, I think I'd want to be gay. Because being gay, right, you get to pick out your children, which is awesome. Can you imagine? Like, if you're gay guys, you could go to the adoption agency and be like, oh, Richard, what do you think about like the little Indian boy with the rat tail? I think he would go perfect with the earth tones we set up in the tent, don't you think? It's like, weren't we thinking dimples on our first son? I thought we were thinking, you know what, let's just keep browsing. Let's just try the Asian aisle quickly. Let's take it. Oh, 2 for 1 Haitians. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. It is a good deal. Speaking of abandoned kids, I have a great idea for a reality show. It's called Orphan Idol. Okay? This is where you get 12 adorable adoption candidates and you have them compete against one another for a wealthy dad. Doesn't that sound scintillating? I feel like Fox would pick that up. I'd watch every single week. Like, come on, Timmy! Come on! Oh, your gimpy leg got you that time. You got that one kid with a gimpy leg. And like at the end of the week, the kid with the weakest skill set gets sent to foster care. Like really high stakes. Just as an example, just the way you reacted is how bad our foster care system is. Like it's sent into foster care, you're like, oh, that poor kid. He's gonna get beaten to death. I think like Donald Trump would, if he wasn't so preoccupied, he would be the perfect dad on this show. So that's another thing to show you. If that guy, the guy who would be a perfect reality show dad for Orphan Idol, could potentially be president. That's a fucking mistake. But I think he'd be great. Like at the end of the week, he's like, Timmy, your basketball skills are weak. You're 13, you still troll. No, I'm sorry, Timmy, but you're fostered. He just shits him out. Oh, orphans. Gotta love them. Or not. You know. Somebody should. So you guys, are you guys ready to have a really good time tonight? Yeah. The views presented in this set do not reflect the rest of our stand-up community. Thank you. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Give me Louis. Louis Anderson. So we're gonna get this show started with a friend of mine. This guy, he is adorable. This kid smells like butterscotch. He is an amazing young man. Give it up for Joe Jacks, everybody. Joe Jacks.
How you guys doing? Do you ever notice that how you doing isn't really a question you can answer honestly? If I was somebody and I was like, hey, how you doing? They were like, terrible, my parents just got divorced. Be like, what a douchebag. Right? So I've been doing this thing where I'm walking upstairs, I'll kind of like step too high or too low, and like completely mess up. I gotta like look around, see if anybody saw me. And inevitably somebody did see me, and they're like, you idiot, you don't know how to walk upstairs. Then I'll tell somebody about it, like, yeah, that happens to everybody, right? And they're like, no, that's never happened. I feel more insecure. Another thing where I'll sort of zone out as I'm walking and go completely past where I want to go. And I can't turn around now, because everybody's going to know I'm an idiot. So, I mean, I don't even know, like, what I expect people to be thinking. Like, this guy's got to turn around, what a fag. Listen, I'm not saying I want my math teacher to get hit by a car. But if she did, my life would be like a little bit better, you know what I mean? Like not like a physical injury or anything. Like if she was in the hospital until the year is over, it'd be amazing. In my favor, I mean, not for her, but. So, I don't know, I mean, it's one of those thoughts like you don't want to have, like your brain won't let you not have. Like I was zoned out in math the other day. For some reason, I just pictured myself like getting up, walking up to my teacher, and just punch her in the face. Like, I think she'd be more shocked than anything. Like, oh my god, nobody's ever done this before. I'm like, I gotta knock her out at this point. I've come too far. She's like 4 now. Nobody knows what to do. I turn to the class, and all you hear is just like a slow clap coming from the class, followed by an applause. They start carrying me up like Rudy, Rudy, Rudy. Then she calls on me, and I realize I haven't heard a word she said for the past 5 minutes. I don't know why I'm failing math. I mean, it's one of those like fucked up thoughts. Like I could be like on a rooftop with the girl of my dreams, like watching the sun go down. And like, you know, she mentions that even though memories are forgotten so easily, that it's moments like this that she tries to remember the most. And as we gaze in the sunset, all I'm thinking is like, this is pretty cool and all, but what if I just push you off this fucking roof? I'm not saying I would do it, but it's crazy how simple it is. It's like those people that you hate for no other reason other than like just to hate them. You know, like there's this one girl in my science class, and like I don't know what it is, but like something about her just gets to me. Like she's got like this plastic bottle thing, and like it's always got ice in it. And when she drinks, all the ice goes down the bottom. In my head, I'm like, oh my god, bitch. I don't know what my problem is. She doesn't drink water. She has a job with that. Jesus fuck, can you do anything right? I think people forget how hard it is to grow up sometimes, specifically like to be a student. You know, I mean, like when you have a full-time job, you're like contributing to society in some way. But we got nothing, you know? We're just learning shit. Everybody forgets the moment they get their diploma, get rejected by our peers, and then masturbate till they fall asleep. It's just like, I'm not saying being an adult is easier. Like from my perspective, it looks a little bit easier, you know? Like we got hormones and shit. Like, I mean, my dad's a teacher, and like I respect what the guy does, but he doesn't make it seem that hard. Like the dude gives work and then watches a movie. Like I just cried in the bathroom and failed the test. I think summer's overrated. I mean, like, it's cool at first because like there's no school and all, but there's too much time to just sit there and think about shit. You know, I mean, not having friends helps, but like, I'll just be sitting there with nothing to do. You know, just have like this existential crisis until by the end I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. You know, like, I'll start to think like, you know, am I who I think I am? Am I what other people see me as? If high school is a part of your life where you're supposed to like figure yourself out, how am I supposed to do that when I'm like this incomplete dude? And then I'll sort of start to wonder why there's like this disconnect between me and the people around me. You know, like I consider myself a people person. People are fascinating. There's 7 billion people in the world, each with lives as vivid and complex as mine, each with dreams and insecurities of their own. You know, I just wish I could talk to them without being awkward. Once you think about it enough, every conversation you're saying, well, fuck it, we're all gonna die. We're just walking sacks of meat that put our dicks in other sacks of meat and then die. Summer's overrated.
Get close, he smells like butterscotch. He really does. Like caramels. You guys ready for your next comedian? Okay, yes. It's not me. Yeah. It is a very sweet woman who's also extremely hilarious. Home Center Stage Theater. Give it up for Kathy Glassman, everybody.
I love computers, I love cell phones, but I have to draw the line at that freaking Google car that drives itself, because the last thing this country needs is another place for men to masturbate. So, really, I asked you all here tonight to talk about my life in the sex trade. So, it started when I went to the porn store with a couple of my girlfriends because I needed a bob. You know what a bob is? It's a battery-operated boyfriend. So we go to the porn store, and I think it's going to be just like this dank and smelly hellhole, and it was. But what really surprised me was the marketing. I thought everything would be in brown cardboard, you know, but it wasn't. Every porn star had like their own thing, you know, the Jameson nip clips and clip clips, and it was just spasming all over the place. It was amazing. So, you know, I went through the routes and I did my shopping. And when I finished, I took my stuff up to the front, to the registered sex offender there next to the and this is where the real humiliation begins, because what you don't, or probably didn't realize is that you can't return anything to a porn store.
No.
Right? Well, really. So the sex offender has to take out what you buy, put in the batteries, and make sure that everything works, including all the functions. So now you're standing in the middle of the porn store, and every perv in the movie section, and it was amazing. So we finished the transaction, I put my coat over my head, and I slink out into the room. So I go home, and my kinky girlfriend was there, and she wanted to see everything that I bought. So she's looking through the bag, and she goes, "What is this?" And I said, "Oh, it's so cute. They had a home goods department at the porn store. And I needed something to hold the closet open in the laundry room, so I bought this black power door stopper." It's not a door stopper? What is it? Is it what? What do you do with it? Where does it go? Ooh. No returns. Ooh. So, a little later, Kinky and I decide that we're not going back to the porn store anymore, so we throw a fuckerware party. Now, for those of you who have never been or don't know, here, a fuckerware party is a home party where women get drunk and buy sex toys. So we have all our girlfriends over and everybody's drinking and having a really good time. And the woman sets up all her stuff and she begins her presentation. This is the Ice Nice Baby, $69.95 with 4 steps in it, 69 and then roll down. This is the Cowboy Up, $42.95, takes 3 days. I said, what is this woman talking about? I've heard better presentations at a CPA conference. It was horrible. So I said, well, I better hold on to the bob I have until it dies, because that's what I did with my husband. But just after that, I lost my job, and I needed a way to make some money. So I became a fuckerware lady. But I knew how to throw a party, okay? I had a Lou Rawls, Barry White, Al Green mixtape. I had the extra tequila and the margarita mix. You know, I got the ladies liquored up and ready to buy. And it never failed. At the end of the show, after you're done, and I had no idea how any of this stuff worked, but luckily Pinky was there to demonstrate. Woo! You go with the fuckerware lady to a little room and you place your order. And it didn't matter if they were rich or poor, black, white, Latina, it didn't matter. There was always one. Little tiny mousy woman, not very attractive. Come down with her little order sheet. I'd like 6 pairs of anal beads, 3 that glow in the dark, a large bottle of Nympho Niagara, and the tiny of cups. I'm like, oh my God! It's like I shop next to you in the Publix. It's like, what goes on in your house? What is going on in there? So I did that for a while, and then I got a straight job, and so I had all this extra stuff, and kept it in the closet, and now I just, use it as hostess gifts and icebreakers at dinner parties. Really, nothing brightens up an afternoon party, than a tube of Nympho Niagara and some tie-me-up handcuffs. And then I come home from the party, and I come back in, and I put all my things away, and then I take my door stopper and my bob, and we all go to bed.
One more time for Carrie Laskin, everybody. Over to the next comedian. Did I say that in English? I don't think I did. I'm sorry, I also speak Portuguese. Are you ready for your next comedian? Yes.
fucked her boyfriend. But now, with better communication tools and my willingness to grow as a person, when a chick from my scuba group left a really nasty comment on my wall, I fucked her boyfriend. Okay, seriously, my favorite thing about Facebook is keeping up with my family. My sister completed her PhD in systems engineering. Woo! My brother, he rowed for the Olympic trials. And I just had a mole removed. Now everyone's thinking I'm some kind of skin tag expert, and they're creeping me out by showing me their moles. Let me save you all some time. I'm sorry. It's cancer. When I am on my deathbed and my best friend is hovering over me with a sharp object, let her be. No, she's not trying to kill me. She's plucking my chin hair with a pair of tweezers. I'm a pretty decent scuba diver. I spent about $5,000 on gear and nearly drowned 3 times, and I'm certified. So of course I go ahead and pay another $2,500 for the advanced certification. And now for the grand total of $7,500, I have the certain knowledge that I fucking hate scuba diving. I am also an expert at the penis. Seen it, touched it, fucked it, sucked it, dipped it in chocolate, even knitted a little cap. Gentlemen, you've had one penis to play with your whole life, and I've had, well, more than that. I've been taking a couple comedy classes lately to suddenly realize I might not even be funny. But it's cool. Turns out a lot of the best comedy is backstage, and it's productive. I now have 3 reliable weed dealers on speed dial. I got a boyfriend from comedy. The horrible thing is, he's all emotionally available and relationship oriented. And what the fuck is wrong with him? And he's way closer in age to my teenage son than he is to me. So they're comfortable hanging out, playing video games, and smoking my weed. The upside to dating a younger guy, when he has an erection that lasts longer than 4 hours, I do not need to immediately consult a doctor. The downside, I'm basically living with a teenage stoner college dropout and his new best friend / mom's boyfriend. Technically, my son's not a college dropout yet. He's one of those annoying millennials who took a gap year before going off to college. Kind of like Obama's daughter. Well, let me tell you, Barack, parent to parent, here's how your next year is going down. She's going to be sleeping till 3 in the afternoon, playing Call of Duty until 6 a.m., and you better find a new hiding place for your weed. Before I go, I want to put in a quick plug for my Etsy site. I sell organic pickles, pot brownies, and beaded penis caps. Thank you.
One more time for Power Pie, everybody. If this looks like fun, you guys, or if this is something like something you've always wanted to try, we teach classes here. There's improv and stand-up classes that are starting June 9th. Barbara's a testament to that. Joe is a testament to that. Some really funny people that have come through here. Yes, give it up for them. They're awesome. And you could be part of this community. So, see Casey Casperson afterward if that's interesting to you at all. Are you ready for your next comic? Also very, very funny, the lovely Rebecca Salas. Give it up for Rebecca Salas, everybody.
It's been so long since I've had sex. I'm getting ready to launch a Go Fuck Me campaign. I don't think my standards are too high. I mean, I can't be the only girl who dumped a guy for using the word irregardless. I was dating this guy recently, and he said, I really love spending time with you, but something's missing. And I was like, oh, your erection? Now, I should have known he was gay. All he wanted to do when we hung out was Netflix and decorate. I spent so much time with gay people. I actually thought I was a lesbian for a week. Yeah, I hooked up with this girl, and then she didn't return any of my calls. So I was like, great, even the women I date are total dicks. Any other single people out there? Yeah. Don't you guys just love it when people ask you why you're single? What are you supposed to say? Well, my parents got divorced when I was 4 and my dad left, so I have some pretty significant rejection and abandonment issues. So I tend to attract men who are unavailable, who reinforce my insecurities by ultimately rejecting me. So, I've created a self-fulfilling prophecy in which I've convinced myself that I'm defective and unlovable, and I'm never going to get married or have children, and I'm going to die alone. But I probably just haven't met the right person yet. Since I live alone, I'm convinced that if I drop dead in my apartment, it's going to be weeks before anyone notices. I'm too vain to wear the life alert. So I've invented a new app called Death Alert. It knows I'm dead if it doesn't hear me cry myself to sleep at night. Anyone else get panic attacks in the grocery store? Oh, good. So I'm not the only one who's had like a complete meltdown in the middle of aisle 6 because I don't know how to cook. Anyone else take like a box of gluten-free cereal to hide all the frozen meals in your cart? So or grab a really big bunch of bananas so people think you have a family? But then only have one of them? Just me? Yeah, okay. So by day, I work for an adoption agency. Oh. Yeah. People call me all the time and ask, what kind of babies do you have there? I'm like, let me check the menu. Would you like to hear the specials? That'd be for here or to go. When I place a baby with a family, they always say things to me like, oh, Rebecca, you're like our angel, you're making our dreams come true. And I'm thinking, can we wrap this up? I'd really like to make it to Zumba tonight. Anyone else been to therapy? My therapist used to tell me when I got up in the morning, the first thing I should say is thank you. And I'm like, oh shit, I've been doing it wrong. So I get up and I'm like, fuck, is this still my life? After my parents got divorced, my dad moved into my best friend's house right down the street. Yeah. That was only after her dad moved into my house and married my mom. Life swap. But it was actually really cool because my best friend and I still got to have lots of sleepovers, only now they were dictated by the custody agreement. I was a really sensitive kid, cried a lot. My mom would say, oh, you'll be fine in 5 minutes. Mom, it's been 30 years. My sister's tough too. The day my parents brought me home from the hospital, she took one look at me, she said, I don't like it, and pushed me off the bed. Luckily there was no permanent damage. I mean, I'm sure it's just a coincidence that I'm 2 feet shorter than everyone else in my family. man. The last time I was asked on a date was when a guy on the street yelled out to me, "Ooh, girl, I want to wear you like a pair of earmuffs." That walk of shame out of his cardboard box the next morning. Rejected by men a lot. Even at my last gynecologist appointment, the doctor had a violent sneezing fit in the middle of my exam. So I'm like, great, how's a normal guy gonna react down there if a vagina expert is allergic to me? But hey, gentlemen, if any of you might be interested, you bring the wine, I'll bring the Claritin. That's my time, guys.
Give it up one more time for Rebecca Salas, everyone. I mean, who hasn't slept with a homeless person, am I right? Speaking of homeless people, our next comic coming to the stage. Very funny gentleman, glad you can make it here tonight. One of our improv directors here, very funny guy. Please give it up for Tom Neal, everyone. Tom Neal.
Thank you, Eddie. Thanks to you, no, I can't do my entire retarded midget set. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna play the cheap seats over here. So, how you doing today? No, I'm just kidding. How's everybody doing? We were at the comedy show, but we don't actually have to tell anybody that we were visually there, so. All right, I'm just gonna do it. I'm avoiding this, but it's a joke. Why is being a congressional aide like being in a heavy metal rock band?
Why?
Because eventually you're gonna blow a speaker, if you know what I'm saying. Now you know why I have been holding that in all these years. So yeah, some oxygen for this man. Or some amyl nitrate or something. Yeah, so I'm going to start off semi-political, so I'm sorry if this offends you. It's really not about politics, it's more about people. It's about something that scared the crap out of me the other day. It was a photo of Donald Trump's wife, and she was almost nude in a little thong thing, posing with a substitute penis. I mean, a handgun. So she was posing with this, and this is a person who might be our next first lady, and I don't know, is it me? It's just, I don't know. I don't know, you know, it's like she was some trailer park Bond girl, you know? Except looking at it, I wasn't really thinking Bond, I was thinking more like bail bond. So, I mean, Donald may not do much with his Secret Service, but he will apparently have an escort service. But I don't know why, I mean, when Michelle wore a sleeveless dress, that was a scandal.
All right.
I'm glad we've gotten much better about that. Apparently everyone has the right in this country to bear arms except her. You know, I want to do something that I hear is very difficult, other than to get a laugh out of that guy back there. I can't actually see anyone back there, I'm just pointing to a seat. I'm going to do what comedians dread doing. I'm going to do what we call crowd work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, how hard can it be? You ready? I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it first time. Okay. What's your name?
Jessica.
Where are you from?
I live here, but
This shit is easy. Are you fucking kidding me? I nailed shit. 2 questions, 2 correct answers, plus an explanation. Okay, I want to try this one again. All right, ready? Okay. Okay, you good? What's your name?
Megan.
Where are you from?
Here.
And if you could be any animal that you could be, what would it be?
Any animal?
Yeah, any animal.
You're right.
Do you mind a little constructive criticism? You didn't do that nearly as well as she did. I don't know what it was. So I would work on that. But hey, this crowd work shit. I could waste 15 minutes doing this shit. This is wonderful. Okay. I was just kind of musing like I do, and I thought that it's kind of ironic, or wouldn't it be ironic, if even the Neanderthals 30,000 years ago didn't believe in evolution? I mean, it fucking happens to them, you know? That's just like, I think that's ironic. Not particularly funny, but it's ironic. But cavemen, I was thinking about cavemen. I'm thinking about, well, the way people are today, the way people used to be. I don't know if they had cavemen with peanut allergies, or I'm trying to picture what, vegan caveman. I don't think that that tribe would have survived to now. I'm thinking about, there must have been like gay or semi-gayish cavemen. That has to have happened. Because those fucking cave paintings didn't come from nowhere. I mean, somebody did that. Somebody decided, I'm not going to spear animals today, I'm going to paint them, I'm decorating the cave. So apparently that's been around for a very long time. One of the things that has probably been around for too long a time, and that is men in general. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. There are actually, by my accounting, there are about 3 times as many men in the world as there need to be. Maybe 4 times as many. We don't need as many of us. Really, I mean, for procreation, to continue the species, you really only need 1 guy for about 6 women. And that can do it. You don't really need, we don't really have these days any other actual use other than constantly explaining to women what the source or input button is for on the remote control for your TV. It's not on. I turned it off. It's the source. You have to put this. No, I turned it off and I turned the switch. The power, the little red light is up. It's the source button. It switches from HDMI to AV to composite to the. It's not. So if it weren't for, I think that companies put the source or input button on their remotes just to give men a purpose in this world. That's why they're there. The Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, that's the huge mega particle accelerator in Geneva. It's the biggest machine ever made, the biggest, most complicated machine ever made, and basically it's run by a woman. She's the one who runs the whole thing and is responsible for everything. And I think it's because in that entire complex, there's not one button that says source or input. And if there were, she would probably have to quit. So, seeing as how men aren't really needed, and women kind of are, I'm going to give you guys some dating tips. Rebecca laughs. Like you should laugh about giving dating tips, Rebecca. Here's a tip. First of all, I have never, this is the truth, I have never looked at a male-female couple and looked at the guy and thought, well, he could do better. Never. Not once. It doesn't happen. every male-female couple I had ever looked at, I could just not even look at them. I could just point to the woman and think, she could do better. There isn't a woman who's with a guy who can't be with a better one. There isn't. The only problem is that there aren't any better ones. They're all pretty much the same. So that goes to my next point. If you're a guy and you're looking to get a girl, to hook up with a woman, the best thing to do is to look for a woman who has a boyfriend. I'm sorry, women, if you don't have a boyfriend, you're not in the running as far as this is concerned. And not a married woman, don't go after a married woman, but go after a woman who has a boyfriend already. And it's simple. It's just math. I mean, if I go after a woman who doesn't have a boyfriend, she's comparing me to every man on the planet who's ever been, who ever will be, real, fictional, Brad Pitt, whatever. That's a lot of pressure. That's 3.5 billion men that I have to somehow be better than. If I go after a woman who has a boyfriend, I just gotta be better than him. Just one guy. Let me see. One guy better than 3.5 billion. I think I'll go for that math. And it works because it doesn't matter who you are if you're a guy. You can be whoever you are. You're a hell of a looking guy. You're a good looking guy. This is a guy, great guy. You know what? I can be better than you. I can be better for 3 weeks. After about 3 weeks, it starts to fade. It starts to cost me too much money. It's too much work, and I can't do it. But for 3 weeks, even I can be better than you or any other guy. And that's the way it works. And so all I have to do, I can spend all my money, work really hard, and for 3 weeks, because you won't see it coming. You don't know that there's a competition going on. Hey, what the hell? I put the toilet seat down. I'm in good with my girl. Yeah, but I can swoop in there because I'm working at it and you're not. And so after 3 weeks, well, she's mine because you just weren't working. And then after 3.5 weeks, she begins to realize, wait a minute, this fucking asshole is the same as the last time. How do you win? How do you win this game? I mean, as a woman, and you don't. You can't win this game because, let's go back to evolution. There is an evolutionary thing that men have that make them work evolutionarily. It's a penis. And there's a thing that women have that make them work out evolutionarily, and that's low self-esteem. And if it wasn't for low self-esteem, there would be no humans. There would be no humans because seriously, guys, we all know it. We are not really good enough. We're not trying hard. We don't care. We're all the same. I swear to you. George Clooney, me, him, the homeless, we are the same thing. You say you can't polish a turd. We are an entire sex of polished turds. That's what we are. And that guy's brilliant. No, he just caught the light right, but it was a pretty polished turd. And speaking of polished turds, let's get our original guy back up here. The retarded midget, Eddie. Thank you very much. Give it up for that asshole.
Really shot my old gay caveman bit in the foot. Speaking of gay cavemen, our next comic coming to this game. The very funny guy, hosted many features here and elsewhere. You've seen him at the Funky Buddha, you've seen him locally. Give it up for Brent. Where's fucking ever? Give it up for Ben Brokart, everybody.
How you doing, guys? guys, I'm Brent. It's good to be here. Oh man. Hey guys, how you doing? Man, so I'm getting older. It kind of sucks. Hit my mid-30s, man. The hair that used to grow on top of my head has somehow shrunken back inside of my skull and now just shoots uncontrollably out of my nose. All the Taco Bell I eat's like really catching up with me now. Like, I find the fact that the rapper Drake is younger than me to be absolutely infuriating. I hate that. You guys don't identify with that? That's okay. No, it's okay. I miss my childhood, man, you know? Childhood was great. You remember how when you were a little kid, you thought your parents were the smartest people in the world and they had all the answers? Then you grow up a little, you become a teenager, you're like, oh, my parents are idiots, they don't know anything. And then you become an adult and you realize that they were actually pretty racist. My childhood wasn't really that bad though. I'll tell you guys the worst thing that ever happened to me as a kid. When I was 3 years old, I went to a carnival with my parents and I got this balloon that I thought was really cool. I love this balloon. As a 3-year-old, that's like the be-all end-all, right? And we're leaving the carnival. My dad's carrying the balloon. We get in the car. And before my dad gets in the car, he looks at me. He just lets the balloon go. And he like smiled, like he smirked at me and let the balloon go. And it crushed me. It's fucked up, right? Somebody over there said, what the fuck? I was devastated. I was like bawling, Dad, why'd you let the balloon go? I love that balloon, Dad. Why'd you let it go? And my dad just looked at me and said, someday you'll understand, son. And then 2 years later, he abandoned us. I was like, wow, lesson learned. I didn't know what you were getting at, Dad. Yeah, man, so, you know what I think I find it so angering that Drake is younger than me? I'll tell you, I'm still thinking about it. I think it's because he had so much success at such a young age, and I had to give up on my dreams of becoming a half Jewish, half black Canadian rapper and get an office job. And it's the worst, man. Like, I'm not cut out for the 9-to-5 office life. I hate my job. I have to go in there every day, make polite conversation with people that you would never normally want to talk to. Like, there's always the guy at the office who wants to tell me what he made for dinner last night, you know? Like, I don't want to hear about it. It's just like, oh, man, I made the best chili last night. You should have tried some. You know, I tell you, the secret is you put a little hot sauce in there, you put a little molasses, you put a little cayenne pepper, and I'm just standing there going, okay, so the secret's the recipe. Okay, like, I don't want to talk to you about this, man. Or like, people who want to talk about politics, I don't want to talk about politics. So like, I don't want to find out that somebody I work with is a Trump supporter, you know? Like, that would be the worst, based on that silence, are there Trump supporters? No? Okay, I'll take that as a no. But God, like, I find it insane that people like that guy, right? It's fucking crazy to me. And they're like, yeah, man, I like Trump because he's honest. That guy speaks his mind, and I admire that. As if it doesn't matter that what's on his mind is horrific. They just like that he's honest about it. Like, such a terrible reason. That's like if I were talking to a friend of mine, and I said, yeah, you know, that Jeffrey Dahmer was a real monster. And my friend said, yeah, well, you know, he wasn't afraid to follow his dreams. You gotta admire that about the guy. It's fucking crazy. I don't know. Or like, I don't want to find out that somebody doesn't support gay marriage, you know? Based on that reaction, you guys all not support gay marriage? No, but it's like, I saw this video on the internet recently. It was this like Christian youth pastor, and he's talking about like how it's an affront to their religion, and they need to defend themselves from this oppression that's happening in the country. Yeah, it's fucking, and then all of a sudden, like, he just kind of waves a rifle into the frame of the video. Yeah, and then he's like, we need to defend ourselves from this. Like, you're just saying we need to like shoot people? Like, gay marriage? That's fucking crazy. And if the guy had any sense, he'd know that gay marriage becoming legal is getting him one step closer to being able to marry that rifle, which I know is what he wants to do anyway, right? Like he wants to have on the back window of his car a stick figure sticker of him, a rifle sticker, 2 little handgun stickers, you know? I think that's an appropriate comparison, you know, because really, guns are like kids, if you think about it, you know? Like, the more a person has, the less likely it is they should be allowed to have any at all. Normal people have 1 or 2, it's fine. And then you have, like, the Duggar family with 8, and you're like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I don't want to fight like those people, or like, people who are into conspiracy theories. I don't want to hear about that at work, you know? Like, people who are like, you know, we never landed on the moon. You know that, right? We don't have that technology. Like, that's what people believe, the weirdest shit, right? And I don't want to say that I don't believe in any conspiracy theories, because I think some of them are true. Like, I really believe that the government puts a chemical in our water supply that makes women not want to have sex with me. But like, most of them are crazy, right? Have you ever heard the one about the $20 bill? That if you fold it a certain way, you can see the Twin Towers smoking? Yeah, you've seen that? People believe that that's a real thing. It's the craziest thing in the world to me. Like, do you know how many people had to be involved and had to know about this way in advance? Like, people really believe that there was an Illuminati meeting, and they're setting this whole event up, and the guy's like, all right, everything looks good. Anybody have anything else they want to add? And then, like, one weird guy's hand shoots up from the back of the room, and he's like, do you guys read Mad Magazine? What does that have to do with what we're talking about here, Jim? You know how when you fold a picture on the back, it makes it look like another picture? Yeah. I want to do that with this. What? You know, foreshadowing, like in Breaking Bad? And if you guys don't think the Illuminati had Breaking Bad years before we did, you need to wake up. And there's like one other guy who's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. You should do that. I like that. And then they're like, damn it. That is brilliant. Get the treasury on the phone right now. We're going to mint these things up too sweet. Like a phone rings in the money printing factory, which is just what I envision is happening when they make money. It's just a factory, like a phone rings, and some guy in overalls picks it up. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. All right. And he pulls like a big whistle that stops the whole factory, like in the Flintstones. And he's like, all right, boys, we're changing it up. No more hidden triangles on the money. We're doing a Mad Magazine. I'm like, that's a real, people think that's a real thing. It's crazy to me. I don't know. So what I'm saying is I don't like my job, you guys. It's just a word. I don't know. I've complained about other people. Like, and I'm trying to think of things I could do to get out of my job, you know? I'm trying to think of like what I could do to get out of the 9-to-5 lifestyle. And I thought maybe I could become like an Uber driver. That seems like a cool job, right? Like I took an Uber ride recently and I was talking to the driver, and I found out he was 43, he worked in a hospital, he was doing the Uber thing to pay off his med school loans. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But the thing I latched onto was that he was 43 and he looked super young. So I was like, oh, what's your secret, you know? And he's like, I'll tell you. Most people don't believe me, I learned this at the hospital. But every day when I wake up, I put Pepto-Bismol all over my face. You guys are looking at me like that's not a super weird thing to do. What it does to your insides is what it does to your face, is what he told me. That's fucking weird, you guys. And I was like, oh my God, I just met a real life version of a one weird trick doctors don't want you to know at from the internet. Which is super exciting because I know that now I'm really close to meeting hot singles in my area. I'm really looking forward to when that happens. But yeah, so maybe, okay, Uber's not the thing, but I have this other idea, right? I'll tell you guys this. This is my invention. I think it's gonna be my ticket out of the workforce. It's a giant, wide-brimmed black hat to wear at funerals, and it's called the sombrero. It'll be in the office forever, huh? You can tell it's not gonna work for me. Alright. It's just the worst, man. And I don't want to say that I'm never a douchebag at work either, you know? Like, I can be the dick sometimes too. Like, when I first started at my job, I had to work really closely with this woman named Karen. And one day they called a meeting, And they tell us, you know, the process that you do with Karen is going to be changing. It's going to be a lot more efficient. It's going to be great, which is all well and good. But Karen had called out sick that day. So now, I, the guy who's been working there for a month, has to tell Karen, the woman who's been working there for like a decade, when she comes back, like, all right, Karen, things are going to be a little different around here from now on. But don't worry, if you have any questions, you can come to me. I'll train you. It's going to be great. Like, I felt like it's like painful for me to think about doing that, right? And so a couple days go by, and I'm just dreading when she comes back. And they call another meeting, and I'm like, oh my God, how are they going to make this worse for me, right? So I sit down in this new meeting. Everybody else was there, and they let us know that Karen had died the day before. Yeah, it's serious, she died. And my reaction was just, woo! Major bulletage here. And also, possibly an opportunity to sell some sombreros. You don't always be thinking about these things. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, I don't know, man. Like, I hate my job. That's what I'm getting at. I've said that before, right? I told you guys this. This is the whole point. I just want to rant about my job. And despite the fact that I hate my job, I did get a promotion not too long ago. Because I still want to do well at it, you know? Like, even though I don't like my job, I'm not going to slack off. Like, even if I worked at a gas station, I'm not going to sell beer to the guy who's clearly just 3 kids stacked on top of each other inside a trench coat, you know? Like, I still want to do well at my job. So I got the promotion, and that was really cool. But the thing that sucked about the promotion is that I had to train my replacement. And I don't know if you guys have ever had to look over someone's shoulder and watch them use a computer when they might not be good at using a computer. Anybody? It's torturous, right? Like, I'm like dying watching this guy, and I'm like, okay, you gotta maximize this window, but you can't use the button. So you gotta click and drag it. You click and drag it. No, the corner of you see, okay. You see what, on the corner here, you click and drag it. And you drag it. You know how the mouse goes, just do the part and drag it. And just, you drag. On the corner of the window, you just click and drag and the corner, no, not that, not where the red X is. No, don't click that, no, don't click where the red, no, not the X, And as tears of blood are starting to pour in my eyes, I had this epiphany, and I realized, oh my God, this is how women feel when I'm trying to unhook their bra. So I just wanted to say, ladies, I apologize, and thank you all very much. That's my time. I was proud.
One more time for Matt Brogard, everybody.